welcome back to Discovery with Miss Natalie. That's me. So this morning I read a story all about animals doing super silly things that animals typically never do. The story was called Dogs Don't Wear Sneakers, and in the story all of these animals were doing goofy things, like cows were dancing and frogs were taking a cab. So typically we don't see animals doing those kinds of things. So what I thought would be fun is this afternoon we would have animals doing silly things too that we're going to create. So online, if you want to get someone to help you, so ask your mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, whoever, if they can print these off for you. But on our webpage, we have these little printouts, and on it is this little smiley face guy over here who's thinking. He has a thinking pose on. And then a big cloud, which will show what we're thinking, okay? So we're gonna pretend that this little smiley face guy is us, and we're gonna put whatever we come up with in our cloud. So I'm gonna do 3 of these, but feel free to do as many or as little as you want. So if you only wanna think of one, only print 1 of these. If you wanna think of 10 things, print out 10 of these. That's perfectly up to you. So what you're going to need is those sheets, however many you choose to do. Like I said, I'm going to do 3, but you can do more or less. You're also going to need any coloring utensils. I'm using colored pencils today, but if you want to use crayons or markers, both of those will work as well. And then the last thing that you're going to need is a writing utensil. So I'm going to use my pen, but you can use a pencil or a pen. Doesn't matter which one. And if you need help writing your words when we get to writing those sentences, ask somebody to help you so that you can write your sentences. So the first thing that I want you to do is, just like in the story, you need to think of an animal. Any animal that you want it to be, okay? So close your eyes, think of the animal. Now, while you're thinking of that animal, I want you to think of something silly that it's doing. So something that animal typically doesn't do, because those animals just aren't like humans and they don't do the things that humans do. So think of that animal. Do you have it in your mind? Perfect. Now imagine that animal doing something silly, something that humans do but animals don't do. You got it? Perfect. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to draw whatever we pictured in our mind in this cloud bubble up here. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to draw is I'm going to draw a giraffe. But this giraffe is going to be eating something that usually giraffes don't eat. So what do giraffes typically eat? Leaves, right? So they usually use their really long necks and their really long tongues, and they grab all of the leaves off of the trees at the very top. But my giraffe really wants something sweet. So my giraffe's going to be eating an ice cream cone, which is goofy because giraffes usually don't eat ice cream cones. So that's what I'm going to draw on here. So whatever animal you chose, you're going to draw that animal and whatever silly thing that your animal is doing, and then I'll show you mine, and then we can move on to the next one. Okay? All right, go ahead and get drawing your first silly animal. Have you drawn your first animal? You're all done? And are they doing something super silly? So good. So here is my giraffe eating an ice cream cone. So a lot of times giraffes don't eat ice cream cones, but there he is. He has an ice cream that has strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate ice cream on it. And I think he really likes it. So now that we've drawn our animal doing something super silly, what we're going to do is we're going to write our sentence down here. So everyone knows what our silly animal is doing. So what you're going to write is you're going to write the name of the animal. So for me, it's a giraffe. And then you're going to say don't. Okay? And then don't do whatever it is that your giraffe is doing. So for example, my sentence will say, giraffes don't eat ice cream cones. And that's what I'm going to write down here. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to say whatever your animal is. So if you did an elephant, you're going to put elephants, don't, and then whatever the silly thing is. So maybe your elephant is riding a roller coaster. It would say elephants don't ride roller coasters. So go ahead and grab your pen or your pencil. Find someone to help you write your words if you need help writing your words and sounding them out. And then we'll come back in a little bit and I'll show you mine and then we'll move on to the next one. So there we have it. My silly animal is a giraffe. And it says giraffes don't eat ice cream cones. So let's move on to another one. So go ahead and put this one aside and grab another one of your dream papers and do the exact same thing with a different animal and something else that is silly for that animal to do. So go ahead, close your eyes, think of another animal, and now picture that animal doing something super silly. Do you have it? Perfect. So you're going to do the same thing. Draw the animal and then draw that animal doing something silly that animal doesn't usually do. Okay? And we'll come back and I'll show you mine and then we'll write another sentence. Okay, so now that you've drawn your second animal, I'm going to go ahead and show you what I drew. So I drew a turtle, and my turtle was dancing ballet. So here's my turtle. My turtle has ballet shoes on. This purple back here is a tutu, which is pretty silly because I've never seen a turtle dance ballet before, but I think it would be pretty cool to see that. So now that we've drawn our silly animal, we need to write our sentence. So it's the same kind of thing that we did last time. You're going to say whatever the animal is first, don't, and then whatever the silly thing is. So my sentence will be, turtles don't dance ballet. So you're going to do the same for yours, and then we'll be right back and I'll show you my complete page. Okay, so here is my completed page, my dancing turtle, and it says turtles don't dance ballet. So there's my second silly animal. Let's move on to the very last one that I'm going to do with you, the third one. And we're going to do it one more time. Do you think you have another extra silly animal in you? Perfect. So take the next sheet that has your little smiley face, I was thinking, and the cloud, and we're going to draw one more silly animal. So just like we did with the last two, think of whatever animal you want. So close your eyes, think of another animal. Now picture that animal doing something super, super silly. You got it? Perfect. So go ahead and do the same thing. In your cloud, draw your silly animal, and then we'll be right back before we write our silly sentence. Okay, have you drawn your third silly animal? Perfect. So let me show you what I drew. So I drew a penguin singing which is so silly. Now, I know sometimes penguins do make like squeaking and they do make noise, and maybe it does sound like they're singing, but that's just how they communicate to each other. But can you imagine a penguin singing an actual song, maybe a Disney song? That would be so silly. So now that you've drawn your third silly animal, we need to write our sentence. And we're going to do the exact same way that we did with our other animals. So you're going to say whatever the animal is first, the word don't, and then whatever it is that they're doing. So my sentence will be, penguins don't sing songs. That's what I'm going to write for mine. But you're going to write whatever it is that your silly animal is doing. So go ahead and write your sentence, and then we'll be right back so I can show you my finished page. Okay, so here is my very last animal, and it says, penguins don't sing songs. So there you have it. We have a whole collection of animals doing silly, silly things that they typically don't do. We have a giraffe eating ice cream cones. We have a turtle that is dancing ballet, and a penguin that is singing songs. I can't wait to see what silly creations you created and what kinds of animals you thought of doing silly things that they usually don't do. So what you can do is go ahead and have someone help you take a picture of whatever you drew and the sentence that you wrote, and then if you want to comment it down below in the comments so that everyone can see your silly creations, because I know that you guys are super creative and you can think of super goofy things that animals sometimes do. So I can't wait to see them. And then go ahead and come on back tomorrow for another super fun activity. Have a great rest of your afternoon, and I will see you later.